Okay, alright. I would not do that to you, and I think you wouldn't do it to me. However, if it was a situation where it was like life or death, I would gladly let you piss in my ass.
Like, if I could save your life...
What's up, bitches?
Oh, hey.
Oh.
How's it going?
It's you.
Yep.
Take that.
Yep, you did it.
Sounds pretty thug.
It's pretty great.
I hope you don't plan to eat those crisps on our podcast, Nicholas.
Oh, God.
Shit.
You're molting all over my carpet.
I dropped
Left
some
a
on your
fucking
carpet.
mess everywhere, dude.
Fuck! Okay, I've closed the doors so no one will hear us talking about you two.
Who you texting?
My mum.
Peeing
Nice.
in each other's butts.
It's an entertaining topic, though. It's very... Everyone loves it.
Nick,
Yeah.
if it would save your life, could I pee in your butt?
Depends what's the actual situation.
It's one where that if I don't urinate inside of your rectum, you will die.
Define inside.
Imagine it's like a saw trap.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have to...
It's pee. I've had pee splash up into my butt while I was sitting on the toilet before, so...
It's disgusting.
No, it's like inside your butt. It's not like against.
Yeah.
the sphincter.
Well, yeah, water just splashes up and goes up my ass.
You must have a really, really loose ass.
Penetrated
It's
the
like
holiest of
just
holies.
dropped a log, so it's still closing, and some of the
okay.
water still...
Oh, so it's like mid-gape.
Yeah, exactly.
Hope you're enjoying your dinner, everyone.
It's like you press the big red button that says close the barn doors. We need to ensure that the enclosure is locked for the night.
And some
keep
of
all
the
the lines
flood
in.
comes in
Yeah.
while the doors are being closed. Yeah.
The flood is in like tiny fungus men. That
It's like,
will hurt
yeah.
you.
Sorry.
They're probably not very fun guys.
Fuck.
Because he said fungus men
You did it.
going inside my ass.
You did it. I'm proud of you.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Temporary Uncles podcast. I hope you enjoyed that little conversation. I'm Uncle 1.
I'm
Nick.
I'm Michael.
You're Uncle 2.
And I'm Michael.
Yeah. Oh, he's... Wait, we talked about getting him on the podcast last podcast, and now he's here.
Hi.
We told you that we could do it. We had the power. We've got the booking ability.
Better fucking give me the money on the goddamn deposit for this fucking podcast soon. Jesus Christ.
Will you take onion coin?
Will you take burger rings?
I'll take burger rings, fine.
Cool.
I can't promise that we have any.
I think he has burger rings.
We might. We've got chips of many sorts.
You know, we're recording, so we can't like eat shit on fucking.
No, because if you do proceed to eat chips,
Nick.
Hey, it was
Nicholas.
in the opening.
I'll use your goddamn hickey locks to circumcise
Hickey?
you with.
Hickey,
Yeah,
do you even speak words?
sometimes when
You
I
really
put
can't.
when I put a lot
really
of thought
can't.
into it, I try,
Yeah.
and very often I don't succeed.
If at first you don't succeed,
Then
I
just
think
cry.
it's very often.
cry again.
Yeah,
Never mind.
cry and cry all the time.
Yeah. Do or do not. There is no
DANNY. He's a pretty awesome guy.
You proud of yourself? It's good rhyming. You did
cry.
it.
You must be a.
Proud of you.
Are you a SoundCloud rapper?
Yeah. lay
probably-
down another awesome like Motown beat.
Motown.
Yeah.
I honestly think you could probably be like a better rapper than most people on
Yeah.
SoundCloud anyway.
Uh,
Because everyone just like records it on their shitty like Galaxy S2 from like
they all
2010.
sound like.
You hear your mum in the background saying, "Come for dinner."
They all
I'm
sound like that.
board. We've got pasta downstairs. Come to the table.
Okay.
I'm amused by the idea of a real thug individual called Archibald. I think that would be good.
Well, I mean,
Please name your kid
I
Archibald, please.
love looking at rappers' real names.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
What's Fiddy's first name?
I'm gonna look it up. So be patient because Google is not the fastest website ever.
Arthur.
Fiddy
Are we taking bets?
Arthur Dollar.
Cent. Okay, what do you think 50 Cent's real name is?
Fred.
Steve.
Curtis James Jackson III. Yeah.
Imagine putting the third in your rapper name.
Director
would not-
Curtis
That
Jackson.
would not
Well,
work
I mean,
whatsoever.
I think Andre 3000 sometimes says that, but like, you know, it's like as a joke, it's 3000, and so he goes like Andre Aloysius Possum the Third or something. Some shit.
Is his middle name Aloysius?
No, but his first name is Andre.
So is it Andre something something?
Andre Benjamin, I remember. One of my favorite rappers. But he hasn't done anything by himself. He's only done stuff with Outkast or as like a feature on someone else's song. He hasn't done a solo album yet. Everyone's been waiting for like 12 years.
A second, Dylan just came in. I just gotta...
Dylan! Hi. Dylan, you son of a bitch.
Dylan!
You better give him a big old muscly handshake. Hi.
Hey, Michael. No.
What's up?
What are you doing?
He's a big boy now. He's legal.
Legal to what, Nicholas?
What are you talking?
Drank.
I was doing that before I was legal. I can now legally buy it.
That's
Fuck
not
it,
edgy.
that's disappointing. You disappoint me, young man.
Why were you allowed to wear those pants to school?
Because
he's
I couldn't find any other tracksuit pants.
Because he's fucking epic.
That's probably it. That makes sense.
Yeah.
How do you feel about being a special guest on this episode of the podcast?
Oh,
We're currently recording.
so good.
Yeah.
Yes, I did see.
You can see the waveform forming.
I can. Sound
The
wave.
fave warm warming.
Yeah.
Okay, now fuck off. Bye.
See ya.
Anyway, Snoop Dogg's real name is
Gary.
Fred.
Calvin Cordazar Broadus Jr.
That's a fantastic name
That is
that
a
was
fantastic
absolutely
name.
not got bullied in high school.
Will Smith, what do you think Will's short for?
William.
Willard.
Oh, Willard!
Willard Carroll Smith Jr.
Carol!
Carroll's a guy's name
It's-
sometimes.
No.
Yeah, it is. No,
No.
the director of The Third Man, his name is Carroll Reed.
That doesn't mean
That's
that it's
one
a man's
example.
name.
That is, well, that's two men that have Carroll in
Just
their
because
name.
a man was named that doesn't make it a man's name.
Shut up.
It's not how
Doesn't
that works,
make it a
Nick.
form. If I put on some really frilly panties, does that make them like men's underwear?
Yes, because a man is wearing them.
Oh, I suppose it belongs to a man, but that's not the intended purpose. Doesn't change the function.
There's no such thing as female clothes and male clothes. It's just clothes.
Well, it depends on how you market it, really.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Anyone can wear it, but there's sort of there's intention.
Carol is originally a male name. It has many different origins. English, Celtic, Latin, but the meaning is usually manly, strong, or famous bearer.
Okay, what about Jay-Z?
Sean Coombs.
Well, Sean is correct. Sean Corey Carter.
Then who's Coombs?
I don't fucking know. Let's
Look it up.
Sean.
Is he also Diddy? Is he also P Diddy?
What'd you get?
Sean Coombs is. I've got a LinkedIn profile.
Are you going to be a business
This
partner
guy.
with
Like to
Mr.
think, wow, that's fantastic.
I don't know if I.
I thought he was
Sean
seen
right.
like
Maybe scene.
like scene born.
Sean Combs, American rapper,
Okay.
aka Puff Diddy, P Diddy,
There we
Puff
go.
Daddy, P Diddy, Puffy Diddy, Brother Love, and B Love. Those are all his names.
Nice.
I don't think you should be allowed that many nicknames.
Big Boy's got a few. Big Boy's the other member of Outkast.
Is he
Boy.
not the one that says alright?
No, that's Andre 3000, Andre Benjamin.
I'm really interested in the man that says alright.
Big Boy is Antoine Andre Patton, so they both have Andre in their name with the tick on the E.
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe that's how they became friends. They joined the if your name is
They
Andre
were
club.
friends. They were friends in high school, so maybe they did.
They were.
They did their first album at age 19 because I listened to it recently, and it's for 19-year-old rappers in the mid 90s. It's good music.
What if you didn't consider their age? Would it also be good music?
Yeah,
So it's just objectively good music.
it's well produced and good rapping, like good rhymes.
Gang.
I-
Well produced Gucci
And
gang.
I think they grew up with CeeLo Green as well because he features on a lot of their music on like all of their albums at least once.
He's got a good voice, but I've been told that he's a dick.
He's a weirdo, at least. Did you see what he wore to the? I can't remember what it was, but I'll show you.
Is
I
it
have
like
a feeling that it's
music awards ceremony number 75 or some shit?
It's like pajamas or something.
Fuck it, I would put on
No,
pajamas. if I
you'll
could.
see. You see,
He wore a
what was it? Like, the
pillowcase.
Grammys. The Grammys last year. Do you want to see what he wore to the Grammys?
Was he naked?
No.
Flannel tuxedo.
No. I just gotta wait for this image to load properly.
A fursuit.
Orange plaid.
Yeah.
Please be a fursuit. That would be
No.
hilarious.
You're not going to be expecting this.
Lady Gaga.
It's just... What the fuck is that?
Yep.
He's got Super Saiyan, dude!
But
Yeah.
why though?
Yeah, that's CeeLo Green. I don't know. He's just wearing this gold suit. He's got gold gloves and a gold mask on. The jacket is actually, it goes all the way down to the floor, as you can see by this full body shot.
But
It's like more of a coat.
It looks like he's asking to drip down the stairs. Like,
Yeah. Oh, here's him doing the classic villain pose.
nice.
So I think he was dressed as a super villain.
I have a feeling that maybe someone took out a sizable life insurance policy against him, and then they said, look, if you wear this floor-length dress, my man, then you'll do great. And then they push him down the stairs.
I'm trying to remember
and
what
they
the
get
name...
$1 billion.
He gave a name to the costume. I'm trying to remember. It's like Niles
Ultrazor.
Because his one of his rap projects is
Niles
Barkley. I'm trying to remember what this one's called.
Because they did crazy.
Yeah.
I remember my mum being like, oh, that's
Gnarly
Niles Barkley.
Davidson, I think.
Gnarly Davidson.
Nice.
Yeah, Gnarly Davidson is his robot alter ego. Here's him as not gold Gnarly Davidson.
Does he have permission from Harley to do that?
I don't think you would need permission. It's just a name.
It's just it's not like a direct rip or something like
Yeah.
that. It's
Davidson-
just something vaguely related. Name only.
Davidson is a name. Did you know that?
I was aware.
Yeah.
But I think that if someone saw that there was a Gnarly Davidson, for example, motorcycle or something that people
Well,
made...
he's not a motorcycle. He's a robot. He's a robotic rapper.
Does he
Yeah,
transform
Portrayed
into a
by
motorcycle?
CeeLo Green.
Can you ride CeeLo Green as Gnarly Davidson?
I'm sure you could, but I don't think it still classifies as a motorbike.
I reckon that you could find a mechanic that would give him a roadworthy. You could pay someone
I'm not gonna,
to be able to,
I'm not gonna even touch
to be
that.
able to say that. They go, don't worry, she's fit. She's okay. Don't take her over 60 and you'll be fine.
Hey Ben, guess what?
If the screaming stops, then maybe
Ben.
slow down. What?
You're a fucking idiot.
I thought this was already pre-established.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
You
It's fun to make fun of him.
Oh, it's the greatest thing ever, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, so nice.
He makes it so easy.
How nice is it to be tall? Isn't it great?
Ben stood up on his bed earlier today and he still looked short.
in a show of defiance to overthrow my heighted captors.
Yeah. It's
I went,
fun.
I'm not afraid of you anymore.
He stands up on the bed and it doesn't even cave in because it's so light.
You do one of those tests where it's like, you could put a glass of red wine on this mattress and jump around on it and it won't spill.
This section of the podcast was cut out because the audio kept skipping and also wasn't particularly funny.
Yeah.
Michael and I took days off school to watch both Birdemic, Shock and Horror, and the second one.
Did you actually have a day off or did you just skip school?
I think it was just nothing important was going on, so we went, do you want to watch Birdemic? And
When you say school, you mean uni?
No, we mean school.
You mean
We
school.
mean secondary school, because that was when the second one came out.
Yeah.
So you didn't have any classes on or anything?
I think it was just it must have been one of those suggested days around exams or something where there's technically a school day,
You should go.
but if you turn up, you're just going to clean things, so
Yeah,
no
that's
one
fine.
goes.
The educational experience is fantastic.
I would have liked school had it been a better experience. I like the concept of school.
Of learning a thing.
It's like a place where people go to learn things. That's the concept, at least.
Yeah.
But in practice, it's very poorly done.
It's adults trying to get a bunch of children to behave.
It's adults thinking that they're better than kids and then acting like that.
And then the
Every
kids
now and then-
hate it because they're being
Yeah.
belittled just because they're kids.
And also because half of the educational shit, you don't need outside. Like there's a lot of stuff you learn.
what you do.
There's a lot of stuff you learn in high school that shouldn't be mandatory. There's
Yeah.
stuff that should be just if you want to pursue this as a career goal.
yeah, these,
I agree with the whole
let me
I agree with the first 3 years being everything. You have to do
Yeah.
everything. But then after
Year
that,
10 onwards should be
yeah.
like
A lot more
here's-
specialised.
You
A lot
want
more
to do this
specialised.
career, let's do these things that will work for that career.
Yeah, exactly.
And that will help you get into like uni or TAFE.
And it is good that every now and then there would be like this one teacher who doesn't think of himself as better than the students. He just wants to actually get along with the students.
They're just a dude.
And then you get a better experience, which was funny because that happened with me in my last RE class. I had actually a really good teacher. I still didn't learn anything. But that's mainly because I wasn't really interested in the subject. I was just kind of doing it to get it over with.
Yeah.
Quick, how old was Moses?
It wasn't even that kind of religion. I wanted to do texts and traditions, which was actually studying like the Bible and stuff, which would have been more...
Texan traditions?
Yes.
Like wearing a big hat and eating fried chicken?
Can you believe this guy?
Just fucking oh, shit.
Dunk Dimmadome? Owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome?
Texan traditions.
Yeah, Ben, you're... The C audience is what I mean. This guy's a fucking idiot.
Saying yeehaw
So we don't have to smack him.
Yeet! And I can't stress this enough. Ha!
Saying thank you kindly, sir.
Sir?
Bless your heart. That means you're an idiot. In Texan. If anyone blesses your heart, it just means that you did something stupid.
Let's just be silent and let Ben dig his way out of this.
Yeah, let's see how deep this goes.
Did Colt never bless your heart, Michael?
Who? Is he a Texan, you know?
He was an American. He was from the South, wasn't he?
No.
Was he not?
From the South?
No.
Where is he from?
The North.
The North, yes.
He was from Newfoundland, Canada.
West Virginia.
Born and raised.
West Virginia, despite being named as such, is part of the South.
That was west of Virginia, not west of the whole
country.
And you could be on the west part of the country and still be in the South.
I wanted to see if you were listening.
Fucking idiot.
Oh, that's fantastic. But it's not west of Virginia. It's the west.
The west
Virginia.
part of it.
Yes.
The area called Virginia.
But
because there's not an East Virginia, is there?
No.
No, it's Virginia and West Virginia.
Yeah.
Which is... Okay.
So it is east of Virginia. West of Virginia.
Yes.
Yes, you can do it.
West
I believe
Virginia
in you.
is east of Virginia.
How was your sleep last night, man? You okay?
I got
What
the
if
bed
the
this
capital
time.
city of West Virginia was called East Virginia?
I would be shocked.
Fanta. Oh, that's the sort of shit that I would do.
It
if
would
I
be
was in
Fanta.
charge.
It would be Fanta, I agree.
I prefer Sunkist, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good commercial brand orange drink product.
We're not sponsored
Delicious.
by anyone, so we can say whatever we
We're
want.
sponsored by Beckers.
I prefer Pepsi over Coke.
Speaking of acid,
Controversial.
Peepo boy.
Speaking of acid, let's talk about Solo.
Oh,
The drink.
Solo. Ah,
The
yes.
drink.
Good, because I don't have anything bad to say about the movie. So
Funny that you should bring up Star Wars in this podcast because
yeah.
Michael and I we endeavored to watch all of the films because Michael hadn't seen them.
I intentionally
Ever?
shied away from all the Star Wars movies because
Every
I wanted to
sing-
see
even the
them
original
after it was
trilogy?
later down.
Even.
Yeah, I didn't watch any of them.
wow.
I shied away because I didn't want any... I wanted to watch them as like a set.
Hi again. Sorry, but there is more audio problems in this section of the podcast, so it's been cut out, though you didn't miss anything. It was just some boring stuff about Star Wars and Zack Snyder that you've all heard before.
Yeah.
Anyway, I mean, one of the things I hate about director's cuts isn't the fact that... Well, yeah. The one thing I hate about the concept of the director's cut is that it's never given as much exposure as the theatrical cut is.
Yeah.
The theatrical cut's the version that they show on TV, that they put in streaming services like Netflix, they put on Foxtel channels and stuff. It's the version that is put everywhere officially, and you have to, like, go out of your way to try and find the director's cut, which sucks because that's usually the correct version of the film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So back to Star Wars.
Back to Star Wars.
So we watched every movie in order.
Yeah.
Not like, not like chronological order of the universe. Like
4,
when
5,
they came
6,
out.
1,
in
2,
order
3.
of the
No.
when they came out.
4, holiday special. 5, 6.
You watched the holiday
Yeah.
special.
We did.
1,
Amazing.
2, 3. Then it was 7, Rogue One, 8, and now Solo, and 9 we're going to watch still. Yeah.
Went 4-2-3.
4. No.
No, 4-5-6.
4, 5. In order they came out.
So yeah,
okay.
A New Hope, Holiday Special, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, The Force Awakens,
Rogue.
Oh yeah, Rogue One,
Last Jedi.
Last Jedi.
And you didn't watch Solo yet.
No.
We have not watched Solo, the Star Wars
Apparently
story.
there was 2 animated Ewok movies that have a 12 Metacritic each on.
Yeah.
Oh, and we also watched
couldn't
the
find
animated
them.
one, the Clone Wars.
Clone Wars.
Oh, yeah, that too, yeah.
That one was crap. Apparently this TV show is considerably better though, so I need to watch that.
Because the film is effectively, it's a couple different episodes sort of stapled together. Like
What I
the
think
arc
is-
feels like
What
that.
I think it is it was supposed to be the pilot of the series, but they decided, well, we don't know if we're ready to make this into a show, so we'll just make the pilot feature length and then release it in cinemas.
Yeah.
And because it didn't really have an ending and it didn't really feel like a movie, it felt more like the beginning of a story.
Yeah.
And people hated it.
Which cost us 2 cents to make.
It was just kind of dull. It was a bit boring.
Do you think Disney horribly regrets buying Star Wars for $4 billion?
No, I don't think they do at all. They're making hella money out of it.
Have they even made the $4 billion back?
Yes.
Minus
They've made
theater
at least
take, minus advertising, minus all that.
Yeah, they've averaged about double the movie's budget, except for Solo.
Solo was
With each of them. Well, Solo was good. I liked Solo.
well,
It
they
was a
were
good
all
movie.
250 million each, and if they doubled the thing, they still haven't hit $4 billion yet. So they haven't even made their money back.
Merchandising and stuff as well, and other TV series they've
There's
made.
no way the merchandise is going to make more than the actual movie.
You'd be surprised.
You'd be surprised at how much money merchandising can
'Cause
make,
when
especially
more-
considering around the world shit. But I would consider that they've probably made the $4 billion back by now. They're fucking Disney, so
Maybe.
collectively, even with just Star Wars: The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, they've made $2 billion each from those 2 movies. So that's already $4 billion. Then there's another $1 billion from Rogue One, $800 million from Solo. And you add in all the other TV shows and stuff, the home release of all these movies, merchandising, and they bought Star Wars for. Or actually, they didn't buy Star Wars. They bought Lucasfilm. It is interesting though how sometimes a franchise can last so long and then huge gaps between each one.
Yeah.
It's like Blade Runner, the new Blade Runner. Like, there's obviously going to be a lot of problems making a sequel about 25 years after the first movie, maybe even 35.
Yeah.
Yes.
Actually,
85, I think.
it was 1982 was the first movie, and then the new one came out in 2017. So is that, how many years is that? Is it 25?
It
Or
is.
that 35.
It's at least 3.
Good, Ben.
It's at least 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, June 25th, 1982.
Oh,
Yeah,
Michael with the facts.
2017 minus 1982. That's 35 years.
Yeah.
Not 25 years.
And together we
Interestingly,
equal
next
one
year is
slow math student.
next year is the year that the first one is set in.
Ooh.
Yeah.
There is no way we're going to go crazy in technology in a year's time.
But well, I mean, it's the same thing with like
Back to the
Future
too.
2.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's
that's
like,
set in the
what,
past
2015?
technically. That entire series is now set in the past.
Oof.
The whole series.
Well, when you look at most futuristic depictions of things, depending on when it was made, it's usually just sort of the way that things look in the present, but with more antennas. Like, you
Well,
look at the
what I love-
Jetsons, and it's just...
That's one of the things that make Blade Runner 2049 so good, is that it doesn't feel like it's trying to be 30 years from now. It's trying to be 30 years from the 2019 that Blade Runner set up, you know?
Yeah.
And so you still have advertisements for Atari, even though it's set in 2049, you know?
Yeah.
Because in
I mean, they
the 20
exist.
big holographic Atari logos on the side of buildings, I mean.
Yeah.
You know? And while the future looks like really cool, it's got a lot more high tech, it makes sense considering in the world that it's set in, it is also past 30 years. How much have we evolved since 30 years ago? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not as drastically, because...
Well, no, because the world that was established in the first Blade Runner was already ridiculously futuristic. So they've just made it more futuristic because it's set 30 years from that futuristic year.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even think the world that Blade Runner was set in really was supposed to be 30 years from 1982. It's just supposed to be its own world, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, when
It just happens to be set in
some
2019
point,
AD.
some point in the future in some
Yeah,
other universe.
just happens to be set in 2019.
Yeah.
Because like if you had footage of say like New York in the 80s and New York now, like the main differences would just sort of be in the thing. Go, oh yes, well that's an old city, or that's a new city, because it's all just sort of concrete and shit.
Well,
Sorry for the constant interruptions, but the laptop we recorded this on must have been having some problems as the audio keeps skipping, as you heard a bit earlier. So another conversation has been cut out.
Do you think in the future, like those CSI like type shows, actually the enhanced thing is actually going to be real?
I hope
they're going to
so.
take like
I really hope
5 visible pixels,
Have you
and
seen-
you can see the borders, and all of a sudden it's like
dude,
fucking Tales of Marsha.
the enhanced scene from Blade Runner.
I have not seen that. No.
Oh man, you need to watch Blade Runner. There's a really good enhanced scene where it starts off as like I think it's just like a photo, and then he puts it into the machine, and then it's like a 3D like turn left, and it like does that in the camera.
Yeah.
Kind of like in Star Trek Into Darkness, they have like a 3D photo. I really hope we can get to that at some point in my lifetime, at least. 3D photos.
That'd be pretty sick.
Yeah.
I saw some episodes of the original series, and I don't know how what's the guy? What's James Tiberius Kirk's actor?
William Shatner.
I don't know how Shatner became a household name with those chops. My God, is it?
He's not known for being a good actor.
Well,
He's
hello,
known for
I
being
am
a
here.
good showman.
I'm here on your planet. I'm going to liberate your women.
Do you
Hello.
know the classic episode of The Twilight Zone where the gremlin on the wing of the plane?
Like, I know the concept of it.
You know of it, yeah.
Yeah.
That was William Shatner's in that episode. He's the star of that. He's the guy reacting to the gremlin on the wing of the plane.
He's just awful. He's just this. Like, when you look at
Why do you think he got his own sitcom?
Oh, shit, my dad says.
Yeah, because he's not a good actor.
Yeah, but the thing is, people that get those sorts of shows aren't good at what they do. They just have it because people recognize them and go,
Are you saying
I know
Jerry
that guy."
Seinfeld's not good at what he does?
He's not a good actor. He's a great comedian and a
That's
writer.
the point.
But he didn't have that sort of a show. He had a different sort of show. Seinfeld
You
is
watch
different.
Seinfeld and you can see, like, when there's scenes with, like, all 4 of them, you can tell he's the worst actor of them all.
Elaine, I'm so upset. How could you do this, Elaine?
It's always him and Julia Louis-Dreyfus who are the ones trying not to laugh in some scenes.
Yeah.
But you can always see him just kind of like, his facial expression doesn't really match.
Yeah.
He's like kind of smiling when he's like yelling at someone.
He's just bemused
Yeah.
the whole time.
Whereas Elaine, at least the takes they get of her, you know, she's not smiling.
Yeah. All he's probably thinking is like, don't fuck it up, don't fuck it up, don't fuck it up, like in his head consistently.
That's what Kramer's always thinking, yeah. They never get the best take of Kramer because they always make Elaine laugh.
Yeah.
Like, you watch the bloopers, and, like, the bloopers are considerably funnier, not just because people are laughing, but because what Kramer's doing is, like, the first take, so it's, like, the most glorious one, and then it's slowly kind of watered down with each take.
Because everyone just gets worn down, and the thing is,
Yeah.
that if it's too funny, then people crack
That's
up.
why I
Yeah.
don't,
So
I
they
don't
can't
like
use
doing,
it.
I don't like doing, like, 50 takes of, like, the same shot when I'm making short films and stuff. Because people get worn down easy.
There was an awful bit where we were filming the opening for Tuesdays with Nick, and we had a friend of Nick's, and we it was like meant to be like an Always Sunny kind of parody. And there is a bit where Nick is behind a door in a room and he screams at the top of his lungs, and it was...
And you're trying to, like, knock on the door or something,
Yeah.
and because I'm screaming on the other side of the door, he just doesn't stop laughing, and it's really funny.
It was, and by the time that we got a take that was usable, he wasn't doing the same hilarious scream. It was a little bit different. It wasn't as manic.
Yeah, but I mean, it was still pretty crazy.
It was good, but I
It's
just
and
ruined the good
I think
takes.
literally the only reason we did that was because the absurdity of, like, I'm just screaming behind this door, and he has the audience, you have no idea what's happening. You just see that Ben's knocking on a door. There's a door there, and there's screaming behind the door, and then the rest of the scene is acted as if there wasn't screaming behind that door. As
His
if,
answers.
Lovely.
yeah, we could easily have done it in that, like, we record the screaming in post, but I wanted to do it in camera because it was just.
This
funnier.
is something that like you just can't get.
Yeah.
Like in post with that, because like you have to deal with like the audio. I guess.
I mean,
audio
I can make
profile of being behind a door.
I can make sounds sound like they're muffled, but it just sounds better when it's happening in camera.
You can do it like,
especially like when right after. Like, I'm opening the door and my face is squished between the door and the wall, and you can still see he's trying not to laugh.
Yeah.
It was easier to time because if we hear him scream and then we go, all right, well, the door's going to open, we've got to act from there. If we were to record the scream in post, we would have to imagine how long he does it for and then act accordingly. And I don't think that we were quite synchronized enough to do that.
And also, it's just more fun to do it on set.
Yeah.
You've directed some things, Michael. You've done some student films in your time.
Oh, okay.
Have you had any hiccups, any difficulties with shooting any particular scenes? Or
yeah, there was an interesting scene from this one thing I did for Year 12, and you know what I'm talking about because you were on it.
They Be Howlin'?
Yeah. And it's a movie.
That's what it was called.
What was it called?
They Be Howlin'.
They Be Howlin'. I thought you said Baby Howie.
Yeah.
Howie Mandel's life.
Yeah, it's close enough.
It's a tribute to a bald man.
Yeah.
By a bald man.
So funny. Anyway, so
How we do
there was a scene where I had to sit in a corner and someone had to like lay on a bed and someone walks in and takes a photo.
Okay.
And
is that
there's
the
not enough
sex
room.
scene, quote unquote?
I mean, sure.
The peeing in the butt scene.
The peeing in the butt scene.
Yeah.
And
we pee in his butt.
yeah, sure. Please fucking bleep that out.
I'll bleep out her name at least.
Good. And all my names in this too. It's gotta go.
Not
It's gotta
happening.
work.
In the thumbnail, can we have your head and then like a box over the eyes, like you're part of the witness protection program?
Actually, that's a good idea. Let's do that.
Just like a white dome and then just a black rectangle.
So pretty much what happened is that I had to sit in the corner and like basically it was I guess medium shot would be the closest description of it.
Yeah.
Of like the door, and I was sitting in the back corner of the room.
Yeah.
And this is a small room.
Yeah.
There's a bed in it, and there's someone else in the room doing like Foley shit.
Yeah.
And
Foley shit.
Sound
Shut
recording.
up.
Sound
recording stuff.
Yeah.
No, it's because of the Foley that he's referring to that's
just
funny.
shut up. So, sitting in the corner of the room, right, there's like a bedside table on there, and I was like kind of like slightly drunk at the time.
Oh, okay.
To the whole thing. You okay? You're like,
why are you making weird
That's the Foley.
sex noises?
That's the Foley.
Okay, but don't interrupt his story, you fucking
wanker? This fucking kid.
Yeah.
We don't endorse slapping people.
I may be the youngest person here, but he is the youngest person here.
Yeah, so I had to like sit on this bedside table, but like broke halfway through. So halfway through one of the shots, like I fell fucking through it. And I was using someone else's DSLR. I was like, oh fuck, I'm gonna break it.
Yeah.
We still have that thing, and I actually tried to repair it so my parents didn't find out.
Do you have the take? Were you recording while you fell through?
I don't think I have it anymore. Yeah, I was recording, but I don't think I have it anymore.
Shit.
Everyone did laugh though.
How long ago was this?
This was 2015.
Oh wow.
About halfway through. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And
if only you'd made a blooper reel.
Yeah. I did make a blooper reel because it was kind of like
you didn't have enough blooper reels. You didn't have enough bloopers.
Oh, we had enough, but I didn't want to make one because I had so much other crap to do. Because it's a high school thing, right?
Was it a comedy?
No, it was meant to be like a drama.
Yeah, so that's probably why you don't want a blooper reel.
Mystery.
Speaking of which, relative to this idea, that was shown at like the school's film festival thing.
Yeah.
Festival, aka like,
as in like have all
10
the
things that
have all the year 12 films just
show up so people can
we
watch
did
them.
That too, yeah.
Compared to the other ones that were shown, that was the best.
There was one that was I won the award of that one too.
Did you direct Almost Man vs. Wild?
No, I had nothing to do with it.
Me.
As I was saying.
Why did you delete that from YouTube, man?
This is bad.
It's embarrassing.
So I keep all of my shit.
I've delisted They Be Howling because I'm embarrassed by it too.
I want to watch it.
I'll send you a.
Is it unlisted or private?
It's unlisted.
Well then, just send me the link.
Yeah,
I mean, the only videos on my channel that I've privated is the Minecraft Let's Play.
Please send that to me. I want to laugh at you.
I was 14 at the time.
I want to laugh at 14-year-olds.
It's about 10 episodes of nothing happening, and then like I find a mine, and then I die.
It's just
Hey
like,
guys, welcome back to my
Hi.
Minecraft Let's Play. Make sure you like.
Hi everyone, it's
doesn't
Nick
sound-
Owens.
well, it
I'm
doesn't
here
sound like
playing.
that. It doesn't sound
destroying
like
people's ears.
It doesn't sound like that because I was using my iPod microphone.
Oh!
So yeah, and it was just me going, "Hi guys, it's me.
Hi,
Gotta
welcome
play
back-
Minecraft."
welcome
And like
back to my Minecraft
because
Let's
it was like 6 years ago, I didn't know how to edit videos, so it's just
It was like
unbroken-
live.
Yeah, it's just unbroken takes, like all of my old Happy Wheels videos.
How many like
But the only reason I haven't unlisted the Happy Wheels videos is because they still have. They're charming in their
funny.
badness. You know what I mean?
charming? You know, I'm gonna raid your channel as soon as we're done. Here.
Okay.
So-
all
from
the stuff that I've
oldest-
left on there is stuff that I'm happy with. So even
Okay,
stuff
you're happy
that is
with the Happy
crappy
Wheels Let's Play?
stuff that's crappy and cringy, I'm still like, yeah. I mean, I can look back fondly on it. You know what I
what
mean?
about the alien one when you were like 6? Like that really.
You mean Monster Mayhem?
Yeah.
I re-uploaded that because of the fact that I made it when I was like 12.
Oh look,
I'm like-
dad's army gun.
Yeah, exactly. And I got permission from all the other guys who were a part of it, and I was like, hey, I put a disclaimer at the beginning. I'm like, hey, this is a video I made when I was 12. You have been warned.
Yeah.
So I uploaded it. And I really want to find
Yeah.
copies of episode 2 and 3, because we made a second and third episode of
Oh,
that series.
God.
That's fantastic.
But I don't know. I'm pretty sure we finished the third one. I know we finished the second one, and I uploaded it to my old channel. You ready for this old channel name?
Oh, it's gonna have like XD in the name or something.
Nintendo Waffle 10. Cause I loved Nintendo, I loved waffles, and I was 10 when I started the channel.
I've never seen you eat a waffle in my life.
Fantastic.
Because you don't come to my house when I eat breakfast.
I've
To be
been
fair,
at your
I
house
haven't had breakfast for like the last... No, that's not true. I had breakfast yesterday.
I
But
haven't
like, I
breakfast
don't
in, like,
eat
a
breakfast
year.
a lot.
I haven't had
I wake up at
breakfast for
1 o'clock.
17 years.
I wake up at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, so I just don't have the opportunity to have breakfast
I
anyway.
generally wake up at about 10:30. I don't like to waste my entire day sleeping. Although, to be fair, I do stay up till like 1. So.
It's not wasting because I'm asleep for 8 hours. I'm still awake for 16. And I'm doing
Yeah,
things.
but I always feel
to-
like if I
Yeah.
wake up at like 12, I've wasted half the day, because technically I have, even though, I went to bed
Yeah.
at like 2 or something. And it's not weird for me to... It doesn't feel weird during the holidays for me to stay up till 1, because my mum's also staying up till 1. But like, when school starts back for my younger brother, then it'll be like she goes to bed at like 11 or something, and then I'm like the last person staying up, and I'm trying to brush my teeth really quietly before I go to bed.
Yeah.
As opposed to the cacophonous wreck that you make when you normally clean your teeth.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, oh. Well, that's not really...
All clean!
That's not what I sound like when I'm brushing. That sounds like my cat licking his own bum hole and slurping it. Like, it just sounds gross.
Is it full of piss?
just let that one stay.
Anyway, so back to the film festival thing.
That's
I
an
mentioned.
incriminating
There was
silence.
one of them where it was
17
year 11
minutes.
or something. No, that was mine. It was like it was like year 11 or something, and it was something about like bullying and suicide, and the whole thing was played off really seriously. It wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
But they had they had the credits.
The credits had
and
music
immediately
that did-
after the credits, Benny Hill theme bloopers.
Oh,
and you watch it and you're
God.
like, I've just been taken completely out of this.
You know what that reminds me of?
This is a story about like straight up cyberbullying, rape, and suicide. I'm out of it completely.
you're gonna do
and they're just laughing on film.
Yeah,
like,
it's
what
one
the
of those
fuck?
things where if you're gonna do a blooper reel, you do it as a separate video.
Yeah, you don't put it
or
at
just
the end.
don't do a blooper reel for it.
I did a video with him. It was for year 11. I remember the one where I nearly strangled you to death against the wall.
Did you
Oh,
make,
yeah.
Did you
Yeah,
make
that one?
Glorious Bastards?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to be
I remember that. And
Lady.
Bridget von Hammersmark.
I was trying to think of the lady.
it was
Bridget von Hammersmark.
Diane Kruger.
Yeah.
it was like 10 minutes long, but the requirements were like 8 minutes max.
Yeah.
So the teacher for the class had actually re-edited it, like what I submitted, and replaced. I spent a lot of time on a nice title card, taken out, and she replaced it with like
Without your permission?
Without my permission, red chiller font and the name of the movie at the
Oh,
start,
no.
like fade in, fade out. Like, oh, what are you doing?
Oh no.
I spent like time because like it was like a hand. It was kind of like an animation thing because like I didn't really know anything about Premiere at the time.
No,
I do
it's-
now,
Yeah.
but like it was a like paper cutter animation thing that I did.
Okay.
For like it was only about a few seconds long, but I was
Yeah.
so proud of it because I was like, this is the first time I've ever done any sort of like I guess stop motion
Yeah,
animation,
yeah.
I guess it is. And just, too long, get rid of it.
Yeah.
The first shot of the movie with red Schiller font, and like it wasn't even like properly centered. It was like it was a Windows Movie Maker job, and I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
what are you doing? You've ruined it. You've
She should have
absolutely
at
ruined
least
it.
said like, "Hey, Michael, your thing's too long. Can you make it shorter?"
Yeah, but like that annoyed me.
Yeah.
Anyway, that
We
thing
had,
will never be seen in public, by the way, because that is a terrible
Revengeance?
fucking- yeah, that is a fucking terrible short
A
film.
portmanteau of revenge and vengeance?
Yeah.
It's
I remember while we were filming that, you fell over at one point. No, it was in the script, right?
Yeah.
You fell over, and there's a knife involved in the scene, and it fell on the floor, and he fell over,
Yeah.
and you were shit scared that you might have landed on the knife. Remember that?
I think I was worried that
How
was a
old were you guys at the
possibility.
time?
We would have been, what, 16 or 17? Yeah.
Okay, yeah. You know what was funny? While I was going back and rewatching some old videos because I was moving them onto my hard drive, Ben sounds and looks almost exactly the same as he did 6 years ago. In 2012.
I mean, he's still a boy, right?
Yeah.
Is
But,
that
it's
to say that I
You
always
were-
sounded like a man,
you
or that I
always
still
kind of
sound
had-
like a child?
You still sound like a child.
You kind of already had like a deep voice at the age of bloody 14,
Yeah.
or 15 or whatever you were at the time.
Yes.
If you consider what his voice is now deep,
Yeah.
it's only like it's like if you got his voice now and like went into Audacity and then like pitched it up by
Tweaked
like 2%.
Yeah.
You've had a big change.
My voice is very different and like my hair has grown, whereas you look almost exactly the same. Maybe you just like added
barely
some like hair and a few wrinkles.
That's why
When I say wrinkles, I don't mean like old man wrinkles. I mean that your face was more youthful when you were younger. You know what I mean? And acne happened too.
Yeah, well, I've
Yeah.
always had bits and pieces of that because I inherited my mother's skin.
I took it from her when I was born.
She was asleep. I just like borrowed it.
She left it to me. She said, "Have these pimples. You'll have them for the rest of your life.
Have fun.
One day you'll scratch behind your ear, and then you'll be in immense pain and realize there was like a fucking pimple living in the space between your ear and your head, and you go, ah."
Yeah. You know, that
Great.
story, that what you were talking about with the person who put bloopers at the end of their super serious
Yeah.
movie reminds me of the end credits of a Peter Sellers movie called Being There.
Yeah.
It's one of those movies that like it was like this great movie, and it's like it's one of those, it's like a drama comedy.
Yeah.
And so it's like this perfect, poignant, like this tone is right, the writing's correct, and I think Peter Sellers was in contention for the best actor award that year at the
Yeah.
Oscars, and the credits is a blooper reel.
Oh.
And Peter Sellers says that like he hates the credits of that movie, and a lot of people blame the credits for him not getting the award that year.
I would.
Yeah,
That would completely turn me off the movie.
I think he got the nomination, but he didn't get the award, and I think it's because of the credits of that movie.
Nothing takes
Ruining
you...
the illusion immediately
Yeah,
after
nothing.
the movie's finished.
Nothing takes you out of a movie about like some serious topic or suicide or whatever than someone fucking up their lines and laughing.
Yeah.
Like that just
That's why
immediate gone.
I went
Just
for
shit movie.
a comedy for my short film this year, and so a blooper reel will obviously be more appropriate.
Do it
I'm
separate.
Well, I'm still deciding whether or not I want, because I don't know how much blooper I have.
Yeah.
So if it's a lot of bloopers, I might put it on like the side of the credits, like Anchorman or something. If it's not a lot of if it's quite a lot of bloopers, I'll do a separate blooper reel.
Yeah, I remember.
Annoyingly though, we have to work with an editor this year. Instead of being the sole editor on it.
Do you
That's
get to
annoying.
supervise
So
the editor?
So
Obviously. So I'm going in tomorrow to
Okay.
supervise the edit.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. At least you can supervise it.
Yeah.
I like the idea of doing everything yourself because you have full control of the entire project,
Exactly.
even if it's terrible.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Well, that's
You
what I
got
did
to do
with
what you want to do.
mine. My year 12 one, because I didn't want
Yours
to
was
rely on anyone
great.
else.
Well, that's why
Yours is
I find
it was alright.
That's one of the reasons why I find Robert Rodriguez is like one of my big influences.
Because he does it himself.
But yeah, he does everything himself, and not just because he made like some of my favorite movies when I was a kid, but he's also made a few of my favorite movies as an adult, like From Dusk Till Dawn. It's fucking fantastic.
Yeah,
And then Sin City.
Yeah.
And I still need to watch Machete 1 and 2.
yeah.
But Grindhouse is good too. Remember that? We need to rewatch Grindhouse.
Planet Terror.
Grindhouse is a thing. So Grindhouse was this really cool project that he did with Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
Where they both made a movie in the style of like a 60s or 70s exploitation film. So Robert Rodriguez did a
Planet Terror?
really cheesy zombie film called Planet Terror.
A woman with a gun for a
Yeah,
leg.
exactly. He shot it digital. Well, he shoots everything digitally nowadays.
Yeah.
And so he, used a lot of CG and stuff, but they still added like film grain and stuff to make it look like it was made in the 60s, despite the amazing special effects.
Yeah.
Quentin Tarantino did Death Proof, which was a more reserved, albeit still quite bloody and
A lot of talking.
crazy, a lot of talking. It's almost like Tarantino making a parody of a Tarantino film, because there's like a lot of talking.
And Kurt Russell goes and like sniffs someone's feet while they're sleeping.
Yeah, he does. Actually, he licks her foot too.
Oh, great.
And but yeah, he obviously shot that movie on film because he shoots everything on film.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is, it's like this 3-hour horror experience, and they released the whole thing to cinemas with not the best marketing, because apparently a lot of people watched Planet Terror and didn't stay for the second movie.
Yeah.
But then they also got like a bunch of their friends, other directors, to direct some fake trailers in between the two. So I think the whole experience goes for about 3 hours, 17 minutes, which isn't too much film. It's not a lot, especially considering they're two separate films.
Yeah.
But obviously each film got their own separate thing when Grindhouse itself didn't make its money back.
Yeah.
But I love that the fake trailers were directed by like Edgar Wright. Robert Rodriguez made one for Machete, which then was turned into a movie. They got, I think, I can't remember who directed the Hobo with a Shotgun trailer, but then he also went on to make a movie out of that. Eli Roth made the Thanksgiving trailer, which was a parody of Halloween. Edgar Wright made like a Hammer horror, like a British horror movie from the 70s trailer called Don't, which I hope he turns into a movie. That'll be funny. And Rob Zombie made Werewolf Women of the SS, starring Nick Cage as Fu Manchu. And I love Grindhouse. It's just fun. But anyway, as I was saying, like Robert Rodriguez is one of my favorite filmmakers because he does everything himself.
Yeah. I like that.
Especially when he started working on digital, he started shooting his films by himself.
Yeah.
Despite working with cinematographers when he shot it on film.
Are there any like shots or elements of some of your previous short films that are so embarrassing that you write the entire film off as a loss? Essentially,
I short films I haven't.
Or projects or whatever you do.
Well, yeah, there was a lot of videos that I filmed that I haven't edited. Videos that I've shot with my brother, for example, or videos that I've shot with friends that we started, and then I'm like, this isn't good. So and so all of that footage has now been put on my hard drive because I don't want to get rid of the footage.
Yeah,
I want to keep the footage in case maybe I want to use it 10 years from now.
Yeah,
as like a fake film in the background of something else, or like a fake student film. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's a shot in They Be Howling where a character is sitting on a couch and is looking really sad about someone being killed, and they're looking at everyone else, and they have the script in their hands. And I forgot. Yes, I bleeped that out too.
Yeah.
I forgot to take it off him before he shot. It's a thing because like there was multiple takes of that because someone else was doing their lines and they kept fucking up.
Yeah.
And half of them it was like on the ground behind the couch where you couldn't see it. The actual script. And the other half of it was just in his hands. I guess I missed that massive like literally 10% of the entire frame is just a folder with like the obvious script. You can see the lines on it.
You couldn't like push in on the shot?
No, because I didn't want to push in on the shot because it would look really terrible because the camera was filming at 1080p and the output was at 1080p as well, and I wanted to look like pure JPEG for one shot only.
But that's the thing. Like sometimes you gotta sacrifice a good-looking shot to get rid of something stupid.
Yeah.
For example, I've had to push in on shots because the boom was in frame or something like that, and so. I mean, obviously, you probably would have had to zoom in quite a lot because but what's worse, completely losing the shot and potentially losing something that's important to the scene. I'm not saying that yours was. I'm not entirely sure what the scene was.
It was pretty important.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm saying what's worse, losing the shot or just pushing in and losing a bit of quality for one shot. I'd say losing the shot is probably worse.
I ended up because here's the thing, I didn't notice it until it was done.
Yeah.
Like, so I was like, oh crap, how did I leave that in there?
Yeah.
And
I've
like,
seen-
no one noticed. The people who watched
Yeah.
it didn't go, you left a scripting in the shot. And I asked people to watch it and like see if it's like not shit.
If they're looking for it, they'll see it. But...
something terrible. I asked them to look for any problems and mistakes, and no one picked it up.
Yeah.
But now that I watch it now, I can't even watch it anymore because I'm
Yeah.
like, that is so embarrassing. It's
Well,
such a huge
pushed
mistake.
See, I specifically...
I actually screwed that up.
The thing is, I notice stuff like that while I'm editing, and so I push in to avoid stuff, and so I don't look back on my short films and be like, that's bad. I look back on my short films and be like, ugh, because of the sound design, if anything.
Oh, I was super proud of the sound design on my
Yeah.
on Baby Howling. God damn, I spent
Because
way too long.
the
on it.
camera that I used to use had a horrible hiss when
Oh.
recording sound. And I didn't necessarily want to redo a lot of the audio unless it was windy. Thankfully, most of the outside shots in most of my short films aren't windy.
Yeah.
I think one we had to redub a little bit, and it's not too noticeable because there's music in the background. But yeah, sound design is like when I look back on The Burgling and the Wes Anderson short film that I made, because those are the only two short films I've made with that old camera, it's the sound design that I hate the most. It's
Yeah.
not, I wouldn't call it terrible because I don't know if I call my short films terrible. They're not great at all by any means, but I wouldn't consider them terrible because at least I was trying.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the sound design is probably the worst aspect of The Burgling because sometimes the audio will cut out or sometimes the audio will sound like shit because I
Yeah.
tried to remove the hiss. But then yeah, the sound sounds better in my other short films because I'm either using my new camera, which has a better microphone, or I'm using the camera from uni and I'm using the sound recorder that they got us. So we're using Rode mics with boom poles and actual
That's pretty
sound kits, you know?
Yeah. Proper stuff.
Yeah.
I think I had access to one of those Rode mics that clips on top of the camera.
Yeah.
For that thing. And there's one particular shot that's this is related. Trust me.
Yeah.
There's one shot where you can see the mic because it was sitting on top of like the like that mount that usually is on the top of things.
Yeah.
And the mount kind of broke halfway through the shot.
Oh.
So it dipped down a bit. You could see it at the top of the frame, and I didn't notice it until I'm in the edit. No one. Like if I told you, and it was like the top of the frame was dark anyway, so you couldn't really see it, but you could see a very faint circle outline of like a black mesh filter.
Have you ever noticed something like that in an actual movie you're watching?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I noticed that while watching Todd Solondz Happiness. There's a wide shot that it's like because it's 4:3. I feel like the movie might have been aimed like they were aiming to crop it in the edit.
yeah. Like was the original in 4:3 like the
The DVD that I had was in 4:3.
Well, that's because there's a DVD, and that's how that.
But when the movie was shot, it was obviously because
Shot in 21:9.
No, because cameras in that day were shot in 4:3. Movies were shot in 4:3, and then they crop it down to widescreen. That's how The Shining was shot.
Yeah.
That's how a lot of films in that time period were shot. Because like when you watch the trailer on YouTube, it's in 16:9. So they've obviously cropped the top and bottom of the screen because it was shot in 4:3. And so I noticed the boom pole a few times. In that.
One or two times.
Boom mic. But the thing is, even though it is shooting in 4:3 and they're aiming for a 16:9 crop, it doesn't go too far down. It's like the tip of the microphone shows up on the top of the screen. And it wasn't distracting.
Baby Howling was done in the output file was in 21:9 because I was going to be artsy, and it's like, oh, it's in the proper aspect ratio of movies. And in order to like frame stuff up properly, I actually had like the camera I was using. I wasn't using the viewfinder. I was using the screen on the back to see what the shot looks like. And I got black pieces of paper, and I measured the size of the screen because the screen was in 16:9.
Yeah.
And I taped black pieces of paper on the top and the bottom of the actual display itself.
Wow.
So the only thing you can see is what would be on the screen.
That's smart.
It worked really well.
Yeah, that's
it
smart,
looked
though.
really ghetto, but it worked really well.
I should have done something like that when I made the Weed Whacker.
Remembering all these things from all these student films that we've done, the things with Michael's production, They Be Howling, because there was quite a sizable cast for a small film, we couldn't get many people that were sort of quote unquote trained or like had any experience. So
literally no one had experience.
So well like there was who had done a lot of theatre, and there were a few.
Are we bleeping all of these names?
Yes. Yeah, all of them.
Yeah. So with who we talked about peeing in a butt already. So we've already. She had done a lot of theatre, and we had a bunch of other people that were in our drama class. But then there were some people that weren't. So we had and who
they were just friends,
who are our mates that hadn't really had any experience in that. So it was a bit difficult as far as filming because Michael mentioned that he had his script on him when we were filming because he couldn't remember the lines, and also he had a habit of looking directly into the camera.
Oh my god! I had to do so many reshoots when you look directly into the
I used to do that too.
And it wasn't even like that he like turned and was staring down the camera. It'd be like he would be facing away like a 45-degree angle, but he would be looking out the corner of his eye into the lens of the
He was
camera.
looking over here.
Yeah,
He would just
yeah.
glince back at it every now and then, like. Oh,
It's really
that's
distracting, but he had an interesting short film career surrounding VCE because there was a girl who made a short film that was enamored with and felt that he needed to be in his film, so in her film. So we used to call him Sheldon after the Big Bong Bingus boy.
Yeah.
Because he was incredibly intelligent, but he was not the most socialized all the time, and he had a bit of a flat
tall,
affect.
lanky dude too?
Yeah, he was tall and lanky, and he smelled.
Yeah.
He didn't.
He smelled like brain.
No, he
smelled like smart.
No, he smelled like not shower.
Yeah.
So
call him Sheldon from now on, so I don't have to bleep.
so Sheldon, so Shellborg was approached
still bleep it.
was approached by a small lady, and she said, "Look, I'm making this film, and it's about like a quirky guy, and he's got like a record collection, and he meets a girl, and so there's footage of this like flat affect, like stony faced dude sitting in a tree listening to music on a portable record player with a girl, and it starred Olivia. It starred this other borderline chick, this fucking nutter lady, and she was meant to be like the quirky girl that like gets into this stony boy's heart.
Like the manic pixie dream girl.
Manic pixie dream girl that will cut off your penis and feed it to you, right? God. So and he started, and it was great. And then he also produced his own film because he did media with myself and Michael. And his film had a number of musical sequences in it because he couldn't think of a different concept.
He put an MLG sequence, like the dumb YouTube parodies, in his fucking final one.
Oh my
it's
God.
hilarious.
Corey is not a musical
I need to
guy,
see this.
right? Corey is not like he plays rhythm games. He plays os, you know, os. And so he's rhythmic in that sense, but he's not a musical guy. So there's like him and Michael are on screen playing Nintendo Wii or something. They're playing like
We're playing Rhythm Heaven Paradise.
Rhythm Heaven, and you're dancing around and doing that. And then there's just a bit where they sing dialogue for about 20 seconds. You know, walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells.
That's him.
From
the DK
Donkey
rap.
Kong, the DK rap.
Wow.
And then there's later bits where he's last Friday night. And he's just sitting at his computer.
Oh, I'm remembering
and he's
all this
ringing
now.
people up, asking like, because the premise is that he's got a party and there are people that are coming around, and he runs into all the different people.
Yeah.
And at the time when he got me to film, I was super sick and I'd like hurt my ankle, and he dragged me out to fucking Coles, which was being
Is
reconstructed.
this when you had your cane?
When
He
it
dragged
was
us out the
being
Coles at 7 a.m.
reconstructed in
We
the
had to do it
morning.
before they
Wow.
opened.
So he got
it's
me up
school
to
day
film
too.
So he's got this bit, and he's sitting at his desk, and he's calling people to come to his party, and he's ringing you up, and then he sings some bits to the tune of like Last Friday Night, and he's like, and you, and it's, and then at the end of it,
So
we get an MLG sequence.
at the end, the party was his actual party.
Yeah.
Like his actual birthday party.
Wow.
And we were just throwing a boomerang around in the backyard.
Yeah.
Because he had a
Yeah.
large backyard with a trampoline, and like
Yeah.
we were doing trick shots, and he made it into an MLG sequence. I don't know if he's listening, he probably isn't, but like,
Probably not. You need to send this. You're still in contact with
you're a
him.
legend.
Yeah.
We love you, but like, god damn it, that thing is hilarious and
Yeah.
embarrassing.
If his name is bleeped out,
Please do.
Will he know that you're
Sheldon.
talking about
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Okay.
we would sit on the bus.
Just saying our fake
Sheldon.
name Sheldon will be enough to.
Okay, cool.
We'd be on the bus to go to go to somewhere like swimming carnival or something. We'd sit at the back, and would be like rapping or singing or something from Rhythm Heaven, and people would be like, "Yeah, man!" And it was just crazy. He'd be like performing it on the DS and and singing along to it. And it was just
I
cringe.
mean, at least he was having fun.
Yeah.
I mean, he
At
enjoyed
least
it.
he was
I
having
liked
fun.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, that was.
I mean, like looking back on like cringy stuff we did as teenagers doesn't seem as bad as cringy stuff that teenagers are doing
now? Oh my god!
But it's still like
It's still like
when do you think that they will look back on cringy stuff they did more like fondly like we do? Or
I
do you
think they'll become
they'll-
as jaded as we are.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, oh, that was so embarrassing. Because, like,
Well, the thing is, we look on it and say it's embarrassing, but we are looking at it with like nostalgia, at least a little bit. You know,
well, I see the things I've done and Sheldon's thing as it's terribly embarrassing what we did, but we had fun. And it was kind of interesting.
And it's like it's a growing experience.
Yeah, it's like sure, it was terrible. Frankly, it was fucking garbage.
But we did it for assessment.
We did it for assessment. It was terrible, but we had fun making it.
And it was a learning experience.
And that's
why I keep my crappy videos up on YouTube.
I don't.
Because it's like, it's showing me getting better at doing this.
Yeah.
Another section was cut out, not because of audio problems but because it was about a game company that we shouldn't name.
Invite me whenever you want.
Yeah.
I've got nothing else to do with my time.
Me neither. That's why I'm doing. Me neither. That's why I'm doing a podcast.
Yeah.
He, on the other hand, he's doing psychology.
Do you think people?
He's a smart boy.
He's actually trying to get a good career.
Yeah. Well, I've got my foot in the industry at least. So,
I do too.
Yeah. I've got a job this Friday at Channel 31. So
nice job. Nice.
Like I gig
second unit
like on the side,
operator.
but I would never consider it to be a primary income. I think that you'd be a nutter to try and
I'm not getting paid.
to think,
so.
Well, I didn't get paid. Like I did an internship in QA.
That's the bad thing about being in this industry is that most of the jobs you start off with are unpaid.
because it barely exists.
Yeah.
You think that doesn't exist? The Melbourne game industry doesn't exist.
There's a lot of good indie games coming from Melbourne, but they're all made by like one person.
They're not made by one
in their free time.
They're not kind of.
Yeah.
There's a building called the Arcade in Melbourne.
Yeah.
It is a building run by the industry group lobbies and they offer incredibly low rent because it's a non-profit space and it's only for game devs. So you have 30 companies in one 3-story building.
Wow.
And they're all small companies, not like...
But I was talking about, when you look at the indie game section of PAX, a lot of the games are made by just like one person.
One or two people, yeah.
Yeah.
Like most
Hotline Miami was made by two guys.
Yeah.
An artist and a game
programmer.
Yeah, an artist and a programmer. Ding Dong and Julian are doing that.
Oh,
really?
1-1 games.
I've been doing stuff in my spare time too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want a sequel to Wild Woody.
If they got the IP, that would be... I mean, only players got the IP for Freddy Fruker, so...
Nice.
Speaking of Freddy Fruker, there's a guy, the Cheddar Goblin in Mandy. It's basically Freddy Fruker but green, and he vomits cheddar on children.
That's fantastic.
It looks like... What's great is, it looks like a real ad in the movie until he starts like vomiting the cheddar, the mac and cheese on children.
Well, that seems like something that would happen foreseeably.
You know what's great is that ad was directed by the guy who did Too Many Cooks.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And the Cheddar Goblin has a real Twitter account as well, which is amazing.
Yeah.
It's got twice as much cheddar than you need a competitor.
Mandy was fucking incredible, but we won't talk about Mandy on this podcast. We'll talk about it next episode when we can get Christopher on because we saw the movie with him.
Mandy makes me damp.
Can I quote you on that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You've asked if you can quote me on a whole host of different things.
Because all you say is stupid shit, man.
That's why I started a podcast with you.
But I've never had you quote me to me.
Why would I quote you to you? I quote you to everyone else.
Yeah.
What do you say to other people and then attribute me?
He
as
says
the
evidence of your stupidity.
Other bleeped friend number 7, I've told him everything the dumb shit you do, and he finds it
Tell
hilarious.
him to listen to this podcast so you can hear the amount of shit that he does.
Whenever I come over, he sometimes asks, has Ben done anything fucking stupid? Because all I talk to him about is you doing the dumbest shit.
Okay, next time I see I'll be like...
Don't actually ask him. I'm not meant to tell you that.
Yeah. You're meant to not tell me that you're telling me.
I'm a shit friend, Ben.
He would find enjoyment in this podcast then if he likes listening to Ben say stupid shit.
So, Michael, tell us
like
a bit
Star
about
Wars?
yourself.
Do you want to listen? Let's do some... Because I don't know if he really wants to tell everything about himself.
What's your blood type?
Do you want to
Are you loved?
Do you want to do some...
How much money do you
We've
have?
got one listener email this time.
Okay.
Do you want me to...
Hit me up.
I would
Let's do
love
it.
to
Hit
hear
me
it.
up. Hit the person that you have no idea who they are until this
Ben,
particular podcast.
Can you make us a listener email jingle?
Sure.
Okay.
We've got one. We've got one listener email. Okay, from Cat Lover ZXCV. Obviously, who else would it be?
You're a fantastic person.
Cat lover, if I ever meet you, I'm going to pee in your butt.
You want fuck?
Cat Lover says, "Hi uncles, what's been some music you guys have listened to this year that you like?" It says listened. There's an I between the S and the T.
He's a...
What's been some music you guys have listened to this year that you like? It doesn't necessarily have to be new music.
Oh, God, he knows his audience.
Because you don't listen to anything new.
There's a song by Opeth that came out called Sorceress, and it's excellent.
I will have to listen to that.
I'll show it to you. It's prog.
Have you heard of a band called Orb?
Orb?
They're from They're from Flightless, the same record label as King Gizzard.
Not.
I'll send you some music by Orb. I think you'd like that stuff.
You'd be really proud of me. I listened to Is This It?
By who?
By The Strokes.
Yeah, I haven't listened to that.
And then
yet.
I
listened to
listened-
The Voids, which is basically the same thing.
Because they both got Julian Casablancas. There's a Daft Punk song with him,
Yeah, I know.
which is good.
Because it's from that album Random Access Memories. It's a fantastic song. What about you, Michael? What music do you listen to?
I like to, when I think of like music I listened to this year, I also count last year because I listen
Yeah.
to the same shit every single year for
Yeah.
the entirety of my life.
Yeah.
But I would say for this year and the end of last year, I've been listening to Gorillaz a lot more than
hell
usual.
yeah. What do you think
Like,
of the Now?
Now, oh, okay. This is here goes another hour.
Yeah.
So like, I'll start with Humans, which came out last year. It was meant to be the big return after Plastic Beach. Like, they're back. It's great.
It was
And
good, but it wasn't
it was,
like fantastic.
I like like 2 songs.
Like
on it.
I'd say, well, because I probably listen to quite a bit more rap
Yeah.
than you. I don't know how much rap you do listen
None.
to, but yeah, because a lot of that album is rap and hip hop.
Yeah.
So that's probably why I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But it's also one of those albums where you have to listen to it a lot.
Yeah,
to really
I did listen
appreciate
to it a lot. And I
Yeah.
did appreciate some songs. Not to be like basic, but Saturn's Bars, even though that was like the main fucking song on the album. And Andromeda as well. That too. The Apprentice is damn good.
Fantastic.
Tell me how you feel about Hallelujah Money, Michael.
Hallelujah.
Oh, fuck's sake. Okay,
That's-
Hallelujah
that one's
Money.
Okay. It's like
I
got
have
nice music.
A strong
but, yeah.
distaste for Hallelujah Money.
Yeah. It's not my favorite at all, by any means.
It feels a lot more psychedelic than the rest of it.
Do you think it smells?
Do you think it probably worked?
Yes,
do
it smells.
you think Hallelujah Money would have worked better on the Fall than on Humans?
No, I don't think it would work
The
at
thing
all.
is, though, like
in any of the albums.
maybe as a single, then like
I don't
do you
think it would work. No,
Yeah?
it's just so different than most
Yeah.
of Gorillaz' work that it wouldn't really work.
What I love though is that you really can hear the evolution of their music as you.
Oh yeah,
progress.
like there's a completely different like the tone of Plastic Beach is a lot more
Yeah, but
matured
I'd
than
say-
Demon Days.
Yeah, I'd say the the Now is definitely their best album since Plastic Beach.
I
mean, Demon Days is a fantastic album too, but I'd say Plastic Beach is also a really good album, and so the Now is like the best album since then.
I really don't like the Now.
Really?
I really don't. I only like Humility essentially because it's like a nice upbeat sort of thing, and that should have been the headliner of Humans, to be honest.
Is that the one with Jack
It
Black?
was.
Yes, the one with Jack Black in the music video.
I like that
and,
a lot.
It was the headliner. That was the one
Of
that
Humans.
Yeah.
Not-
of Humans.
Yeah.
Right, no.
It should have been the headliner of Humans and would have made Humans a lot more better. A lot better.
Apparently, he's planning to release yet another album this year.
For fuck's sake.
What a rest,
What he did
Damon.
was he had like a big
Give it a rest,
break.
Damon.
He had like a big break with Gorillaz, but in that big break with Gorillaz,
He made a
was
bunch of
doing
music.
Blur,
Yeah.
and then and also that musical that he did, like the Rise of the Monkey King or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another question. Have you heard the newest... Okay, so some point this year, and by some point this year I mean like 2 months ago, Arctic Monkeys' new album, Tranquility Base, came out.
I don't listen to a lot of Arctic Monkeys.
Okay,
It's one of the,
it
one
has
of the bands I
completely
need.
divided Arctic Monkeys fans.
Yeah.
Completely. Because like Arctic Monkeys fans, they all
like Humans
expect
did with
AM,
Gorillaz
right?
fans.
Like, because AM brought all the AM brought all the fans to Arctic Monkeys essentially. So everyone expects AM sort of stuff.
Yeah,
There's a very
'cause
distinct
Do I Wanna
style
Know
on AM.
was fantastic. It's
Yeah.
such a
Yeah.
good song that it went outside of Arctic Monkeys fans and brought
Yeah,
in
but
a
like
whole bunch
the
more.
whole tone of AM is very similar. Like if you
Yeah.
listen to like an instrumental part of "Do I Want to Know" versus like great, this is the perfect time to forget names of songs.
Arabella.
Arabella, there's one. You could you could mix them up because they've got
Yeah.
some similar tone. Tranquility Base is a lot more. I don't want to
Diverse.
say. I don't want to say psychedelic because it's not really psychedelic, but it's a lot different. It's definitely a lot more slowed down and not as
Yeah.
bass heavy. And as a result, you have Arctic Monkeys fans who like it, like me, right? And then you have other Arctic Monkeys fans who fucking hate it and they expect more.
Because they're too used to like the more rock based.
No, because
stuff.
like every single Arctic
Like-
Monkeys album is completely different in tone.
Yeah.
And that everyone else, all the other bands and stuff in the world, I guess, like they usually have a consistent style between like their whole music
I
career.
prefer musicians who diverse sort of.
I do
diverse-
too.
Like they have like a different sound with each
Yeah.
album, even if like they have a similar kind of sound throughout the whole thing. Like you can hear the evolution. Like Outkast,
Yeah.
which I've been listening to recently. You can hear the evolution in their sound with each song and with each album. They're not necessarily concept albums in the way that they have a different sound, but
they're just themed.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's a lot more... so, for example, their first album is very much just, like... It's a first album. They've just got, all the songs that they made put together into an album.
Just a collection of songs as opposed to, like, one
Even though
themed piece.
Yeah, it's a collection of songs, but they still sound like they belong to the same album. They're not just a collection of eclectic music styles. They're all southern rap music from the mid-90s.
Right.
Yeah.
Then their second album, they started to put a bit more, like, funkadelic stuff. Like, kind of
funkadelic.
But it's still rap and hip hop, but they
Yeah.
just added a bit more funk to it. Then with AT Aliens, their third album, they added a bit of a sci-fi element, so they kind of went a bit weirder with their sound. And I love that album, but I don't think it's their most beloved album. There's a lot of fantastic songs on it, though.
I mean, it'd be like if you're a fan of David Bowie.
Stankonia, which is their best album, their fourth album, is when they really started to... It is like a great album, and it's got this good like just sound going through it the whole time, and it's got it's got a political message to it as well. Even though if you like you can listen to the whole album and not listen to the political message, and it's still fantastic, And I still have yet to listen to their double album, Speaker Box / The Love Below, which was basically a Big Boy album and a Andre 3000 album.
Yeah.
But they were still Outkast when they made it.
Yeah.
And then they made the sixth album is the soundtrack to a movie they made called Idlewild,
Nice.
which I also have to listen to.
I recently, I don't want to say discovered because everyone knew they existed, but
Yeah.
The Killers.
The Wall by Pink Floyd.
Oh, you've joined the club.
No, I haven't joined the club. It's just like,
Have you listened to Dark Side of the Moon?
no, I've only listened to Pink
My
Floyd's
favourite
The Wall. And that's
Transformers.
I'm
it.
going to give you an education in Pink Floyd, boy.
Not now.
Not now. I mean, I'm going to fill you in.
Like,
Dark Side of the Moon is my favourite Transformers movie.
I looked into The Wall, and then I found out about the actual Wall movie that what's his
I
face
need to
made.
watch that, yeah.
Yeah,
Bob
the one.
Geldof?
Yeah, the one with the infamous like hammers walking thing.
Yeah, well, that's all. You can also just look at that in their music videos.
Well, yeah, that's
Like,
like
the
I'm pretty sure the
music
music videos is
are
just a clip
clip-
from the movie.
Yeah,
it is,
it's like
yeah.
Daft
Yeah.
Punk did the same thing with their second album.
Yeah,
It's just one long music video basically.
yeah. I really want to watch that movie.
The Wall.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
same.
weird because like
It's pretty nice.
I heard my parents complain about like people complaining about In the Flesh, specifically In the Flesh without the question mark, which is on the second disc.
Yeah.
You know exactly
Yeah.
why. There's a point where it suggests you should put gays up and against the firing squad. Right?
That one looks Jewish, and that one's a coon.
Yeah, that part.
Who let all
Um,
this riffraff
and-
into the room?
Dumb people take music from face value
Yeah.
and just read the lyrics. Like everyone in the band endorses this terrible thing.
Yeah.
But like, not only is there obvious background information
Yeah.
from within the album, there's a fucking movie explaining that the main characters has basically become a Nazi at this point.
Well, yeah, and also the
And-
lyrics beforehand, they go... The lyrics they're not just random sentences put together. They go
There's a
in
flow.
order.
The whole thing works together, and
Exactly.
it's not the artist going, "Hey, look, we should kill all gays or whatever."
No.
Well, the character has a psychotic
the character
break.
of the story that
Yeah.
fucking mentally breaks down and
Exactly.
becomes essentially a Nazi.
Yeah.
And that's the ideologies that they're doing. And I think in the actual movie, at that point, the main character is actually speaking at a rally.
Yeah, it's like a Nuremberg style rally, but it's like a concert.
So it works within the story of this, but dumb idiot people who don't understand concept and subtext just fucking throw that out.
Yeah.
Because it's all
ruin
about
it for everyone else.
analogies about a takeover, because he sort of loses his own personality because he has a fucking psychotic break from too much drugs and too much stress. And
Yeah.
Well, a lot of it's a lot of the same reason why people immediately disregard Jaden Smith because he's Jaden Smith.
Rightfully so.
Because he's the son of Will Smith, so people immediately will compare him
And
to
Afterworth.
And also because of the shitty movies that he made, and because of some of the shitty music he made when he was really young. Like
And
over
because
with
of his
Justin
tweets.
Bieber and
And
shit, you
fun
know?
tweets.
And his tweets. But his first album, Sire, I thought was quite good.
I listened to it
Right.
and like I don't generally like rap, but I enjoyed
Because it's
the
got-
album.
I haven't listened
It's
to it
a
all.
con-
This is the
because
first
it's-
time I found out about it.
It's a concept album.
I
and
remember
it's got
nothing
a bit
about
of a
the
story
concept.
To it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's one of those albums where some of the songs are just good on their own, right?
Musically,
Obviously.
it's a good album. Like
And
I don't know who
musically,
played the instruments.
I don't
on
think
it,
he
or...
produced a lot of it, but he probably helped produce a lot of it. But he wrote all of his lyrics at least, which is good. But yeah, it's one of those concept albums where it doesn't play in chronological order.
Yeah.
Kind of like The Wall. I'm not necessarily comparing it to The Wall.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that, like The Wall isn't necessarily in chronological
Well,
order.
it is, but it
when you
repeats.
listen
it
to
has
it,
comes back.
flashbacks.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of like Sire. It's one of those, I think, my interpretation of it is that it's a rapper who's been shot in like a turf war kind of thing, in like a crime-based shootout.
Gang.
Yeah.
And he's going through like kind of an out-of-body experience.
Shot in a
and that's
Gucci
what
gang.
the kind of album is. Because they have flashbacks of him, they have flashbacks of like the car chase and the police chase. They have flashbacks of him singing. Then they have
Drinking
some songs
grape
that
drink.
I think they were sung by the character,
Yeah.
And I think the album, the main character is Sire, which is the name of the album.
Some of the songs are sung by an actual glass of grape drink.
What?
You should have just let that leave.
Yeah. I'm just gonna ignore that.
Yeah, just
So yeah.
fuck out of the room.
So you've been listening to like Arctic Monkeys recently?
Yeah, just like,
Yeah.
because like, I have bands from the start. Oh, yeah, Evanescence too.
Oh,
Don't
Evanescence?
immediately throw out my opinion.
No, I won't.
I've been listening to my eyes. So I've been like, I guess, catching up, if you will, with things
Yeah.
I liked when I was like 8 and 9.
Okay.
My
So,
Chemical Romance.
and I grew up in the perfect time, the perfect edgy fucking
Yeah.
MSN Messenger time,
Yeah.
where everyone had dark hair to the side and loved MCR.
Yeah.
So
Wear jeans and
MCR
khakis.
Except you.
MCR is no longer a thing anymore. Like
Yeah.
they broke up. That's fine. But
Yeah.
Panic's still doing shit. Like Panic at the Disco.
But they're
Fall Out Boy's doing shit, and it's terrible.
Yeah.
They had
so
a
is Panic at the Disco stuff now. It's
yeah,
crap.
they're both Panic and Fall Out Boy's new stuff are kind of crap. Especially Fall Out Boy. They had an album that came out this year called Mania.
Well,
and
Panic's
it's
got a
actual
song.
hot garbage.
I've
Panic
got
has
some
a
mates that would take exception
Panic
to
has
that.
Panic has a song that's on the radio at the moment that is just awful.
Yeah,
Because it sounds like they're doing the whole pop punk shit from the 2000s, but they've also got music sensibilities from now, like the trap
exactly the
drum
problem with
set
Fall
and
Out
stuff.
Boy as well. Because
Yeah.
like they had some sort of like, because I have I'm a dumb stupid person when it comes to audio. I have like, I go to like markets on the weekends and go to find CDs
Yeah.
that are somewhat in good shape, and then I rip them at highest quality.
Yeah.
I'm the world's like shallowest audiophile.
Yeah.
And like I have Folie à Deux, which is the album just before Fall Out Boy like broke up for like 2 years and then came back together.
So good.
And there is a consistent like theme, a consistent style between the entire album, just
Yeah.
like The Wall. And it's not like The Wall. It's not like an actual story, but there's a
No.
consistency that's within it.
Yeah.
And their Mania now, it's like it's Fall Out Boy's become the clickbait of music,
Yeah.
essentially, to me, where it's like they have their own style, but they're like, oh, fidget spinners are popular, let's put fidget spinners in our thumbnail if it's a YouTube video.
Yeah.
And it's all like modern poppy shit, and
Yeah.
it's like barely Fall Out Boy anymore. They're riding a trend. And
It's
I
got
feel
the
like
trap
that's what
hi-hats in
Maroon
it.
5
it's the
does
death.
as well.
It's the death of like a creative sort of thing where they have to follow a trend to survive, and it's just.
I feel like that's what Maroon 5 does too, but at least he tries to make music.
Yeah.
He's not just trying to follow the trend.
I'm listening to that. I've been listening to Evanescence again.
Yeah.
It turns out My Immortal is actually kind of a nice song. It's not just a meme. Bring Me to Life will forever be a meme.
Yeah.
Forever. But My Immortal survived, and the lady who did it, I don't
Amy
know,
Lee.
that's the one. She
Relation
just
to Geddy
released
Lee?
a self-titled Evanescence album late last year, I think it was. And it's her now. She's like 40 now.
Yeah.
Like singing some of her older songs.
Yeah.
And her voice is completely changed.
Yeah.
Does she
And
sing
it's
All
matured
Star?
heaps. No, she sings stuff from like Fallen, that album. Once again, we do not endorse hitting people unless it's Ben.
That was a good slap.
So, yeah, like it's completely different now because back then,
You're wearing jeans.
I'm saying back then like it's a thing from like the 50s. Back then, like it was, the songs were tightly compact. There was no like white space, if you will, where it was just like some between words, there's some instrumental stuff.
Yeah.
Now there's a lot of white space, and like it's hard to explain. You have to listen to it.
Yeah.
I'll send it to you. She redid "Bring Me to Life"
Yeah.
in that style, and there is no like
Wake me up!
like that guy's not in it.
No.
Sorry,
I'm not listening
it
to it
sounds so weird without the "Wake Me Up" save me. It
Wake
sounds,
me up!
Wake me up inside.
Like, can't wake up.
Wake me up inside. Save me. Like without the save me. Yeah, without that, it sounds so weird, and I don't know if I like it or I hate it.
Yeah.
Because the original My Immortal is kind of perfect in the way that it's like the perfect combination of serious and like cute and edgy.
Yeah.
But this version is like imagine like someone on the fucking Voice did My Immortal.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
it's just
it's like well, the thing is, it is a different song. You don't have to think of it as a replacement for the original.
It's not like you know blah blah remaster way. It's meant to be like the same title song.
But
just
it, like you
recorded
think of it more as a companion piece. So whether or not you like it or hate it doesn't matter. The original song still exists.
It's still out there.
It's like when people get really angry about remakes. Like I get angry about just the fact that it's so pointless.
Yeah,
But I don't really care that the Ghostbusters remake was a shit movie because the original Ghostbusters still exists.
It just seems like a waste of time. It's like because
it's a waste of time, money, and resources.
Because they promote it and they go, wow, why don't you come down to the theater with your family and see the new film where it's really good? And you go, the first one was perfectly good. Why are you doing this?
I don't hate Ghostbusters 2016 because it's a remake of the original or because it's a shit movie. I hate it because of what it tried to do. Hey, look, we're a movie from the 80s, but done with women now.
Have you ever had a movie or something that had like a remake or a sequel that completely ruined your perception of the entire franchise? Essentially, like for me, this is very specialized, but 13 Reasons Why on Netflix, right?
Yeah,
it's a story about. You probably looked.
I know what it is. It's shit, and I hate it. Yeah. The concept, at least.
The point is like someone kills himself and like there are 13 people who
and
like
it's it's a show about glorifying suicide
essentially. And like I actually kind of liked it.
Well,
I liked the first season. I liked it. I watched
it's
it.
Like well made,
and like it's perfectly fluent and consistent, and it's like the first season is crafted perfectly.
Yeah.
Then they announced a second season, and then you realise that it's not just an artistic piece because they wanted to make it; it's a money-making piece.
Well,
now,
like when I found out
it's a book, and the first season was a book. The entirety of the book is the first season, and now they're just making up new shit to attach to the book at the very end.
So there's not a second book.
No, there's only one. So now they have writers making up the stories they go along, and
what's worse is that they're really trying to up the shock value.
Oh my god!
Bad enough. The first season actually has
two rapes that are both on fucking camera.
The first season actually has the scene where the girl commits suicide.
That was skin crawling. I was like, oh,
they have a flashback. They were told not to do that, but they still did it.
The fucking...
Let alone they had that.
The prosthetic they had for that scene was way too realistic.
And the thing is, there's also already
fucked me up.
Other stupid fucking shock value that they put in the show just for the sake of shock value. That suicide scene is undoubtedly just shock value.
Yeah.
A large chunk of the conversation about 13 Reasons Why has been cut out because it became too serious. We now join the boys at the end of the discussion.
I want that shit gone. Like,
yeah.
And the fact that it's become so fucking popular is even worse. Yeah. The fact that it's made is bad enough, right? Yeah. And the fact that it did what it did while ignoring the advice from suicide experts is bad enough. But the fact that it's become one of Netflix's #1 series, it made enough, it got popular enough to warrant a second season despite not at all building up to a second season.
Like, it has a bookmark ending. It stops at the very end of season 1.
Yeah.
Like, I don't... when I heard about the second season, my
Let
first
alone,
response was,
they're
how
making
the
a
fuck are they
fucking
going to continue this?
third season.
Yeah, I know. How
Really?
can they make a third? How? Because here's the thing: there's a lawsuit in the entire the bottom story arc
Yeah.
of like the entire first season is that what's her face, Hannah is her name. She kills herself, and the parents suggest that the school knew about this, and they're suing the school.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the blank bottom like plot for the entire thing is this lawsuit.
Yeah.
For
And
the
then
first season, it's barely talked about because it doesn't need to be talked about.
And then
But
the
the
second
second season, the entire thing is the lawsuit.
Yeah.
And then the third season, I think it's still going to be the lawsuit,
Probably.
right?
It's like you've written an actual story for the first season, and then the second season you're scrambling through the first season to try and find plot points that you can continue in the second season, rather than actually writing a story for the second season.
Because they finished
Like
it, because
most-
they didn't plan to
like
have a
most
second one.
good
course they didn't.
TV shows do. They write actual stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they don't have a story to build from in the first season, you write a new one. That's
Yeah.
what Breaking Bad does. Half the shit that happens in season 2 is not at all mentioned or foreshadowed in the first season.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, suppose that with Breaking Bad that they may have foreseen that a second season was possible,
They have
was viable.
what they did was with the first season's obviously like they know what they're doing for the whole series. They
Yeah.
know that there's a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Yeah.
They know what the ending will be. They know what the middle will be, and maybe they've got ideas for plot points throughout the series.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily know how long the series will be. It depends on how successful the first season is. And then as the series progresses, they can actually write good stories and good characters, introduce new characters, kill off old characters, stuff like that, you know? And they can actually write a good story.
Yes.
Whereas with 13 Reasons Why and a lot of other shows that try really hard to make a second season, they don't have an ending in mind. They find
The
out...
first season did have an ending. The
that's
first
what I
se-
mean. They
if there
have
was
an
no
ending.
second or third season,
They
that
know
show would be a 9 out of 10 for me.
What they're
legitimate.
doing is they know what they're doing for the
Now it's a
first
2.
season, right? They know what they're doing for the first season, and they don't have an ending because they don't think about the longevity of this show.
Yeah.
Mr. Robot's another example. They know exactly because he started writing this as a movie,
Yeah.
and then he realized it was too long, so he decided, oh well, I'm going to write this as a TV show. The whole series is written by the same guy.
Yeah.
So it's good. I think after season 1, he directs every episode as well. So it's like his passion project.
Yeah.
And so he knows the ending in mind. He's ending the show with season 4. He's had that ending in mind most likely since the beginning, or at least while writing season 1, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's the problem with a lot of TV shows nowadays is that, well, the thing is, TV is becoming a better art
stuff.
form
Yeah.
in general. So
It's
there
not
are
just Big Bang Bazoinga
yeah,
Theory.
there are a
7.
lot more cinematic shows where I don't know if they have an ending in mind, but at least they know where the show will be going if the show goes past a first season.
Yeah.
Then there are other shows, maybe a Netflix series that becomes more popular than they expect. And then they decide, well, let's make a second season. How are we going to make a second season?
Who fucking knows?
Exactly, yeah.
Well, because Netflix has
Or-
got that sort of a model
another
where they
example-
just throw things at the wall to see what sticks.
The thing is, there's a difference between a show where you have a couple characters and then you put them in another situation. Whereas then there's 13 Reasons Why, where they try to continue the show throughout the whole
shouldn't have
series.
done
They try to... It's a show that has continuity.
Yeah.
And they
Well, it has a
try to
plot.
have... And yeah, exactly. They try to have the one story stretch across the entire runtime. And then there's shows like The X-Files, where they might have an overarching plot, but they follow different adventures with each episode. And it's much easier to write.
Yeah.
Therefore, the longevity of the show is better. Therefore, the show itself is better.
Well, it's the difference between like an overarching plot versus an underlying plot,
Yeah.
where
Mr. Robot...
each episode is
Well,
contained
actually,
within
no,
itself, but
yeah.
then there is also some continuity between episodes versus
Exactly.
something which is all about the advancement of the story.
Exactly. You can't just watch a random episode of Mr. Robot or a random episode of Breaking Bad and expect to know what the fuck is
But
going
you
on.
can watch
Yeah.
Two Broke Girls episode 64 and go, all right, I know
Yeah,
what's
exactly.
going on.
Or like Twin Peaks. It's a show that has continuity, and you'll be very confused if you show up halfway through. And it was kind of the first time they made a show like that, where it's a show with a beginning, a middle, and end.
Red Dwarf is like that.
Well, I mean, it is British. Their shows are considerably shorter than American shows. I'd say it's the first cinematic style of American TV. Although
Yeah.
the main problem with Twin Peaks is that the ending of the show happens about halfway through season 2. They pretty much end the main story halfway through season 2. Then there's a huge dip in quality when it becomes a shitty soap opera, and then it comes back up when they start to finish up the shitty plot threads that they started after finishing the main story.
Yeah.
And then it goes back into Lynchian kind of cosmic horror shit in the last couple of episodes. And then the movie does even more of that. And then they did a third season, which I have yet to see, which is a return to form for David Lynch because he directed every episode. I think
You bad
I
done
think
there?
we've got enough. I think we've got enough. This podcast is almost 2 hours
That's long.
I will edit it, but I think we've got enough for today. We've only got the one email, which we went on a huge tangent after talking about anyway.
That's a whole lot better than any of the other stuff that we got, considering
That's
that we
true.
usually get none.
Yeah,
So-
true. Please, if you are listening to this, and I know some of you who are,
Help me!
please send an email at tempuncles@gmail.com. Follow us at Twitter @tempuncles. You can even ask us questions on there instead even. I mean, we prefer the emails just because it's easier.
Yeah.
Nick keeps me here!
End it like that.